What is going on, YouTube? PPS here. Past the prop MLB shows back here, ready to go. Smaller slate today, actually. It's only like an 8-gamer, but we got a lot of high-end pitching, a lot of garbage pitching, and those are always the fun slates here. So joined always. Stu, how you doing, my man? How's your weekend?
I'm doing good. It was a relaxing weekend for me, watching a little bit of baseball, but beyond that, I enjoyed the UFC card, even though it was a little bit slow, not the most fun card in the world. I did end up, making a little bit of money on it at least. So that's always fun. But yeah, just a really calm weekend. Excited for a good slate today. Like you mentioned, not the biggest in the world, but as you notice, as soon as you dive into it, we got good pitcher after good pitcher after good pitcher. So that always makes for an intriguing slate. A lot of good strikeout options, maybe a little less, batter props. But like you said, they're always the cans of the world that are going to fill out the rest of the slate for us. So definitely think we got a good one today. I got some more plus money spots. Excited to dive into it.
Yeah, it's these are the fun slates for me. I actually kind of enjoy these when you have like very, very high end, at least in DFS, because you have really high end and you have really shitty pitchers. Like there's really no in between, right? I mean, you go past Gausman. Eovaldi's coming off injury, and then it's like Waldron, McGill, Gibson, like Bryce Wilson. Like, oh my God, dude, like, this is going to be absolutely brutal. So, going to be a fun slate to talk about. As always, if you guys could hit that like button. We got 10 of you guys in here in the first 2 minutes. We appreciate you guys popping in here with us early. I think we're going to break down this slate pretty well. I know all of our games are kind of split up too, so we're going to talk about probably over half the slate in just our breakdowns there. Is there anything you want to talk about in this slate before we get started? Like any of these games sticking out, any of these dogs sticking out, or you just want to go right into some stuff?
Yeah, no. For me, I think the first thing that popped out for probably my game of the night's probably got to be that Orioles Blue Jays game. Stacked pitching matchup, obviously Rodriguez against Gausman. You got a little bit of divisional rivalry going on. Both these teams have seen each other a decent amount, right? The Orioles are going to have a little history against Gausman there. And spoiler alert, not too good, right? He's obviously one of the best in the league. So for me, I love seeing those high-end pitching matchups. I think that was the first one that easily jumped off the page for me.
Yeah, I do want to watch your Nationals for the first time in a while. I think I only watch their games when Mackenzie Gore pitches because the rest of them are just god-awful. Like, oh my God.
Parker's good. Okay. He's good. Yeah. Well, we got another one. It's not all.
Give him 2 more weeks before he becomes. So rookie pitchers, I give them about 4 to 5 starts. And then I get to see them get lit up because they usually get figured out what they actually want to do. So should be fun. Honestly, really good college baseball slate today. These are all game 7s to head to the Supers. So if you're not doing anything during the middle of the day or you got some extra time from work, check out those super regionals. I got a couple of those that I'm going to be watching. I thought I would have some bets in them, but these are just such high-end, high-leverage games. Like, it's so fun to watch high-end college baseball. Like, it's just hype. It's just hype. I was watching Florida, Oklahoma State last night. You're going to see one of those dudes be drafted in the top 10, I'm sure, in a couple of years. 6'9", dude throwing 98 out of the bullpen. Like, come on, dude. Freshman. Like, what are we doing here? Like, what are these guys made of, bro? It's crazy now to see these guys here too. So should be good. If you want to say Irvin's been good, you can, but the track record's been there where it was a reliever going into there. I don't even know if I really consider him a starter yet until he gets a little bit more innings under his belt. But yeah, it should be a good slate. I think that Mackenzie Gore against this Mets team should be a fun one. Even though the Mets really don't hit that well. I'm not really a huge fan of the Mets either. So that one would probably be number 1, followed very closely by the Texas Rangers, Detroit Tigers. I think that's the best game on the slate tonight, bar none. Hopefully, if Eovaldi is healthy. I have no idea. That is a very big question mark. Minus 112 for the Rangers. Seeing Tarek Skubal as a dog is just something that you don't see very much, and I don't think you're going to see very often throughout the year. But that offense is not good. Now you just sent down Torkelson, and he's been bad. So it's like there's that offense has a lot to be desired. But it should be a fun slate for sure.
Yeah, Tigers are one of those teams that when you want to bet them, it always just feels like you're on the pitching side instead, and you just leave, anything with the batters to go. Torque, like you said, that was the hope last year. I mean, he was crushing the ball in the second half of the season, and then now he's back in the minors once again. I would not want to be a Tigers fan. I got a lot of family up in Michigan and Detroit. I feel for those guys up there. But like you said, they do have an elite pitcher on the mound today, and that always is going to make a game watchable when you get to watch a guy that's going to be in Cy Young contention this season, if not the winner.
Yeah, no, you guys know my hate for Detroit from last year with their whole grounds crew.
Yeah.
They deserve this, dude. They 100% deserves this shit, bro. No other team deserves it more than to suck right now than the Detroit Tigers. So, yeah, Mets are bad, dude. They are really bad. Like, that offense is just gross to watch. If you don't get an Alonso dinger, you're pretty much just closing your eyes and hoping Matt Vientos closes his eyes and the guy throws a fastball down the middle and he hits a bomb. So those are pretty much what you're hoping for because Vientos, I think, swings at about 90% of the pitches. If it's not a fastball, it ain't going anywhere. So, yeah, it's a tough time for those guys for sure. And Brett Beatty gets sent down, another guy who's supposed to be good, and it's been not fun for a lot of these teams out there. So, as always, we appreciate you guys popping in. 15 of you guys in here, first couple minutes. I guess we can do dogs, Stu. Do you want to do dogs here quick? Is there a dog sticking out to you? I know it's a smaller slate, and I'm sure we will be probably on similar ones in this spot too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a dog locked in. I'm only on the favorite side. I bet the Padres last night. So I got, 1 of 1 so far. But, I mean, beyond that, it's got to be the Giants, right? I mean, that's the only dog that I really want to bet tonight, to be honest. Just looking against Nelson on the other side. But, man, the Giants, we talked about it before. Their offense scares me. Like, it's so all over the place. You know what I mean? So I think I'd almost rather maybe just Nelson unders or fade him or something like that. But that would have to be my pick at plus money on the Giants.
Yeah, I think mine would have to be, as gross as this sounds, I might have to bet the Angels because every time I've tried to go against Tyler Anderson, the fucker just keeps getting outs. And it baffles me. It just baffles me how this dude just continues to get soft contact after soft contact. His changeup has been lights out. He nuked the Astros. Like, went out there and just straight up dominated them. Like, he was in no trouble at all throughout that entire outing. And that's just something you don't see with this Astros teams against lefties in Houston, right? He did it in Houston too. So it's like sometimes you just got to jump on that train. Hopefully you're not late. Hopefully I'm not late to the train, but I think if I had to, I think that I would have to lean with the Angels there. And they're giving me pretty big plus dog money in this spot. Like, I do like Waldron, but give me almost plus 130. Seems a little bit much for by far their number one pitcher in Tyler Anderson.
Yeah, those two guys are like, to me, like if you're a DFS guy, I feel like this game is so important because both of those pitchers are so volatile. Like you can really get like an ace outing and then you can get like just a complete blow up, and obviously that's the case with baseball in general, but especially these two pitchers, like you said, Anderson, who's shown like some high end strikeout stuff, the changeup, but then also the power, right? When he's not, hitting those corners, people are absolutely rocking the baseball. And then Waldron on the other side, a knuckleball. I mean, that's probably the most variance you can have in a baseball game in this current year. So honestly, might have to change my answer to that being the game of the day. The thing is, I just have a general Angels ban. That's like they make my eyes bleed every time I turn them on. So I would prefer to stay away from that game in most situations. But I do think tonight actually should be a pretty fun one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, Stu, you ready to get after it? We got 3 plus money spots on the day. I almost raised mine up to a 1.5 unit play for my only one that wasn't. So while you're doing your play, I'm going to actually calculate up our recap there. I completely fucking blanked. So I will kick it over to you to start us out in the worst team on the slate in the Mets. You decided to go there. So here we go.
Yeah, I decided to go there because I saw a price I liked at plus 130 for 1.5 total bases. And you see, Mackenzie Gore is my guy. There's no doubt about it. Like I like Mackenzie Gore a lot. But I think, too, when you look at his baseball savant and you see like a little bit more blue than you expected, like the 21st percentile barrel, where you see he's given up like an above average amount of hard contact at times. I think like the total bases is really the only avenue I would ever attack Gore in, because when you are getting hits off of him, they're going pretty far. And one thing he's done a pretty good job at this year, especially compared to last year, is he's coming out more aggressive attacking the strike zone. That's been the Nationals' #1 organizational priority. And Gore's a guy that I was kind of worried would be like a 4 walk per game guy forever. But even when he does limit the walks, he's still like pitching in a lot of full counts. It's not like pretty. Like, to me, it looks like he pitches like a reliever out there a lot of the times, where it feels like he acts like he has these extra strikes that he doesn't. So for me, I have been seeing like a lot of Gore hype, and I absolutely love it. But I do think there's still some things to work through, and I think the power is like the #1 problem. And when you are pitching like a reliever, and when you are dancing around the strike zone a lot, you're going to have to come at guys and throw strikes. When you keep winding up in these 3-2 counts and these deep counts, like, you got to go at guys. And luckily, Mackenzie Gore has great stuff, and he is going to continue to be good in this league. But I think JD Martinez stuck out to me on the other side. One, I mean, we got a 5-game total base streak coming in. I think it's hilarious to see JD Martinez at his age right now, 355 against lefties, 300 on the road. I mean, he obviously was a late pickup. There's a lot to be said about that. You know, it hasn't seemed to affect him. Even at this age, he's still crushing the ball. He had a triple yesterday, which is the funniest thing ever, just to see in the box score, the 36-year-old triple right there. But I mean, he's a guy that he's showing he can still mash the ball no matter what. His pitch stuff matches up very well with Gore. Gore obviously is going fastball, curveball, and then changeup. The curveball is lethal. The changeup is pretty lethal, but he only throws it against righties. And the X slugging and X batting average is really bad. So when he's not getting whiffs, right, when you see that like 350 XBA and the like almost 700 slugging matched with the whiff percentage of around like 40, like when you're not missing bats, people are crushing it. And so to me, it's we're searching for one pitch right here. It's one pitch, and JD's come in with some momentum. I like the price tag at plus 130. And once again, the Nationals bullpen is always an opportunity to bail us out right here. Obviously got some good guys at the back end, but man, I'm concerned about this bullpen. I really think it's a ticking time bomb. You can't pitch your guys every single day, and that's what Davey Martinez does. So we'll see if that continues, but I do like the price at over 1.5 total bases at plus 130 right here.
Beautiful. Yeah, big plus money. Not I'm always good with seeing that. Update. All right. Did Seager didn't walk last game, right?
He didn't. I went 1-1 on the plus money.
So this is where we're at there from the show. Last time, obviously, want to make sure I get those on there every day. I'll kick it over to mine here. Mine's 122. I also bet this for multiple units throughout. I have a 6-leg with a parlay. If they would give me the option for the most strikeouts on the slate, but they're not, because the Brewers, I don't know if they've listed their starter. It says Bryce Wilson, but I don't know. That game still hasn't popped up yet. So I just don't understand how the Rangers are projected to do so well against this guy. Like, where is this coming from? Like, this team has a 25% K rate against lefties. They are 6th worst in OPS against lefties. This is a brutal spot against one of the best pitchers in baseball. And mind you, oh yeah, he's on the road. I don't give a shit. This dude's a 1.86 ERA away from home. He's got a 2.1 at home. And that's a 30-inning sample. Like, we're pushing 60, 70 innings on this dude. And we're seeing him dominate that much at home and on the road. On the road this year, he's got a 37% K rate. 1.9% walk. This might be the highest K minus BB I've seen in any 30-plus inning sample size this early in the season. Like, this is nuts, dude. 31% in – oh, my God. That's crazy. I'm just reading these back. He's got a 1.72 xFIP on the road this year. Phenomenal. You look at his numbers. 29% hard hit rate is absurd. Go bring that along with a 31% K rate. This dude misses bats. Like, that's what he's out there to do. He's going out there to light you up. And what I did like last start, I had a bet on him against, I believe it was the Tigers versus the Pirates. I had a bet on him on a ladder. And didn't hit the whole ladder. I think I hit 2 of the rungs. But he's now figuring out, I can throw to contact early in these counts. And these dudes are going to swing at anything close to the zone so they don't have to deal with them in 2 strikes. He had 2 innings back-to-back, 8 in like 9 pitches. right? That gets you that extra little bit, right? That gets you that extra inning. And these guys have shown 90 pitches. They're going to send Skubal back out there. This dude is literally a top-end ace in the MLB. What I do like to see, especially in a spot here where you're going to probably see a lot of righties, is that his changeup is his top whiff pitch. 43% whiff rate on that changeup is a big boy number there. Obviously, if you want to go lefty on lefty, I mean, his sinker and slider both have been very, very good. 27% put away percentage to the lefties. I mean, obviously, you're going to have, Josh Smith in that lineup, Corey Seager, two of the lower strikeout guys on the left side where Skubal has just been absolutely dominant. So really, really good against righties, 2.6 xFIP, 2.1 against lefties, 31% K rate to both sides. This dude has just been absolutely lights out. I think that this is a very, very generous number. And if we can get him to get 18, right? If we get him six full innings, I mean, he's at 18 and a half outs prop. If I get him 18 outs with this stuff, the bottom of that Texas order is just walking Ks, right? You got Ezekiel Duran down there, walking K. Leody Tavares will strike out. I mean, it doesn't matter. The ability for him to have 31% K rate to both sides of the plate is massive, and especially in a spot here on the road. Like I said, 37% K rate on the road is bonkers. So sign me up for Tarik Skubal. I think he has an absolute field day with this team. And I really like that he's going low on DFS today.
Yeah, I like this spot a lot. I jumped on it early. I saw you posted this morning. I was on it. Obviously one of the best pitchers in the league. And like you said, even in the game, kind of getting a rare underdog price tag. You got a high level pitcher versus pitcher matchup, assuming once again Evaldi, is looking good, healthy right here. I'm excited for this game. I'm excited for Skubal. I really like the look, and I like my only really question is the same as Terrence, is how high are we climbing this ladder tonight?
Yeah, dude, I don't do ladders a ton. I don't ever go higher than 10. So I would never go higher than 10 unless they're giving me 1,000, 1,200. So I would probably get it up there. It's just I'd much rather with the pitching on this slate with the matchups, I'd much rather just take him to lead the day. And they're gonna probably give me 600, 700 at least with Wheeler on the bump as well. I think this is a great spot. I think Wheeler outs is the way to go. I think the Brewers are gonna put the ball in play against Wheeler, but I could definitely see Wheeler just getting ground ball after ground ball after ground ball after a long road series. They just got to sweep. Now they head out to Philly, probably swinging for the fences there with it being 80 degrees. So just a thought there. If they ever do drop the daily leaders in terms of strikeouts.
Sounds good. I'll be on that. Yeah, I hope they put it out. I think the Giants also had unlisted as their starter as well. So hopefully when we get a little bit more clarity, we can get those props in, because I'm with you. I think you actually might even get a better price than you're saying with some of these high-end pitchers on the slate. I think it, could creep up a little bit more than, it normally would be.
Yeah. And I saw Spencer Howard on DraftKings now for the Giants. I think the Brewers are the one we're waiting on now. I think the Brewers have no pitcher listed, which I saw Wilson, but I guess that switched.
Yeah, that was on Savant, but Savant doesn't always have the official. Sometimes they do the estimated one, so that makes sense. We'll have to wait and see for that one.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, Stu, another plus money spot for you. I think the last two of the day will be in that plus money range.
Sounds good. We're going to Andrew Abbott over 15.5 potential assist. Potential assist.
Oh, wow.
Oh boy, you guys see where my mind's been at these last couple months. Pitching out. Oh my God. Sorry about that, fellas. But like I said, it's been a long NBA season here. But we are going to Abbott right here at plus money. This number's been back and forth at minus 130 at times, plus money at times. But DraftKings does have this widely available at this time right now. And that's really what stuck out. I think it's a solid play, in general, but it wasn't necessarily, jumping out to me as much until I really did see this plus number in front of it. Because to me, obviously, to put it in the simplest terms, right, when you're you're playing, things that are better than even money, the percentage outcome that's expected is sub 50%, right? And to me, like, this is one of those spots where, like, he's over in 7 of 11, he's over in 5 of his 6 road, he's over in his career start against Coors, which was a great start. 10 strikeouts went over this number. Obviously, limited experience in Coors, small sample size. He's been great on the road. With a 3.20 expected ERA, 3.29 ERA total. But, good stuff so far in the season. What I really like, though, obviously, ability to limit hard contact is huge. 86th percentile on Baseball Savant when you go into a spot like Coors. You're trying to avoid getting blown up. And for me, the biggest thing about the potential outs props, and one that I really look at before anything else, I love the pitches per plate appearance, obviously. It's such an important tool. And the Rockies' 5th fewest pitches per plate appearance on the season. When you look at these last 2 weeks, drops down to 4th, the 5th most aggressive swing team, 5th highest swing percentage over the last 14 days. It kind of meshes up a little bit with the season-long stuff, but they've been hitting better over the last month, right? The Rockies lineup is really playing better than they have all season, but it is good to see them cool down a little bit in that Dodgers series. Only 5 runs scored total over those 3 games, with a couple kind of deflating the tires games, those last 2 ones, including against Gavin Stone, which is not one I was necessarily expecting right there. But Abbott is just shown as, like, he's one of those guys when potential outs, I always get worried, are you going to walk a lot of guys? He's kept that under control. Are you a guy that's out there going for the strikeout at all times? No, he's perfectly fine with letting you put the ball in play. That's obviously the strategy. That's why the limiting hard contact is so important with him, right? Why that 86th percentile is so important, because that's everything for him, right? If you're not going to be striking guys out, you're letting them put the ball in play. Well, that's good news. This is a Rockies team that's going to go out there aggressive. They're going to put the ball in play. And for me, I like that for potential out props, because if your pitcher's on, it gives them a chance to go out there and win. So we have some good recent form. Obviously, 7 innings pitched last 2, 6 inning pitched last 3. He had a rough little spurt about a month ago where he was in that like 80 to 85. But for the rest of the season, we've seen him over 100 a couple times. We've seen him in that 90 to 95 pitch range. So I would expect that to continue. And obviously, teams are a little bit more hesitant to go super deep into their bullpen in the first day of a Coors series, because that blow-up potential is always there around the corner. So for me, I like Abbott. I like the plus money price tag right here. I think that's really the biggest reason that I bought this prop. And I think he keeps the consistency going today.
Yeah, first off, it's pitching outs, not potential outs. I'll give you that one again.
I corrected it the 3rd time. Maybe I messed it up again.
Yeah, I think it was like 4 in a row. I'm like, okay. I don't want to stop him in his rant, but
got it eventually.
I don't know how long they're going to leave him in there. That's the only thing. I don't know if they're going to trust that pen a little bit more than they should, because for me, when I bet a guy in Coors, you either got to miss bats or you got to get that ball on the ground. And he just doesn't get ground balls. He's a fly ball pitcher, which is why I never understood why he played for the Reds when you're in fucking Great American Ballpark. That is my only thing that scares me. That and the fact that he sucks against righties. Like, this dude is a complete wipeout against lefties. And I think outside of your 2 best hitters in McMahon and Blackman, they're probably rolling 7 righties in this spot, those are my only concerns. Is if you think that they're going to let him roll and save that bullpen a little longer, okay, then he probably has the chance here. I know there's going to be quick outs. I just don't know how well he does to warrant that. Like, I always see these guys, the road teams are the ones that struggle in that first game heading into Coors. Right, and that's always the tough spot here. Is usually I like to back the Rockies in those first games because those guys got to adjust. So it makes me a little bit nervous, just because obviously his earned runs prop is as high as it is. All these other props are as high as they are. If you think that their head coach is going to let them roll a little bit, then it's just I get nervous when I see a 5 xFIP to righties, and they only have a 222 batting average. So that shit's about to blow up here soon, and you're going to see 7 righties in the spot. So I'm just nervous on that for me with this Abbott spot. That's the only thing.
Yeah, and I think that's fair. I will say, you did say you took out, like you said, their 2 best hitters kind of when you talked about the left side. For me, you can throw a bunch of shitty righties. I mean, obviously. it's not nothing. And the team is playing well, right? I don't want to mess with Tovar, right? I get there's some good players. But my problem with this prop is when I see the 15.5 at plus money, I get you don't want to mess with the Rockies and Coors, but they're pricing it like he's playing the fucking Dodgers, and he's not. You know what I mean? Like he's like this. You're saying, oh, well, will the leash be longer? Well, he gave up 6 runs, and they still brought him out in the end of that last one to go over. So, and they left him in there to finish off the 6. So he's not a guy that has like a historically short leash, and I don't know why you'd want to go to your bullpen early when you know that it's a core series. You're going to have to go into it at some point, right? If he's doing good enough, like he has in these recent starts, where they're not beautiful, right? I'm talking 6 earned runs, but if there's that trust to leave the guy in there, I think we at least get the potential to go back out. And I feel like this is priced like we're playing a way better team, despite I get that the chorus factor is alive and real.
All right, last thing on my side. You talk about analytics and all this shit, and we talk about it all the time. So if I can figure this out, I'm hoping that the analytics team on your team figures this out. Andrew Abbott, because I had him in fantasy, mind you. I had him in fantasy. I dropped him 2 weeks ago because they do give him too long of a leash and they let him go out there too long. This dude's xFIP, third time through the order, 6. 6. And he's got a 125 BABIP in those spots. And he still has a 6 xFIP. This dude is getting blown up second time through the lineup. 10% walk or third time through the line, 10% walk rate, 13% K rate. Like that's almost pushing negative K minus BBE, third time through the lineup. So when I see those numbers and I see a guy get that much worse, because this dude's just pretty much throwing four seam changeup to righties, right? That's pretty much what he's throwing, right? When you look at his breakdowns and the pitches against righties, I mean, 4-seamer, changeup, and then occasional curveball, right? And the curveball's been getting absolutely fucking destroyed, which is why they're not using it. I'm just worried when I see those third times through the orders, because that's why they give it to you. You know, they give you those numbers on each of them, and it's just like, is this going to get lucky, or is these guys going to keep rolling him out there? Because it's like he is good the first couple times through the lineup, and I'm like, man, do I let him go out there for that third time through? Because Tovar at the top, Blackman at the top, Elias Diaz isn't shit. I mean, he was an all-star last 2 years ago, whatever it was. Chris Bryant, I know it's dog shit, but he's decided he's not that anymore, at least for a little stretch while he can stay healthy for 2 weeks. So he is healthy right now. So those are my only things there on Fangraphs. Gives you those first, second, third time through the orders. Those things are fucking gold, man. Those things are so nice to have on there. Shout out Fangraphs. You guys definitely should be using it if you are betting MLB.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, before we move on, I will say that I think those are all fair arguments. But once again, I will say that if you're a bettor and you're trying to make managerial decisions for a team where you're using the data that you see and interpreting it rather than you're using their patterns and their previous decision making, I think it's smart, but I don't think it always reflects what's best for betting. And just say, like we talk about it all the time, coaches and teams aren't always making the right choices. And even if you say they should have a tighter leash on a guy, because those stats clearly bear that out, right? That's not something you can necessarily argue about. I think a team and a pitching staff probably look at it and say, we got this young developing pitcher, you want to get him your reps. I think there are always different perspectives on it. And obviously, like you're saying, even if you're completely right, that doesn't mean that the coaching staff is ever in that perspective, oh, we need to pull this guy sooner, because they haven't been doing that. There's not proof that's, we have a decent enough sample size, I would say, so far. But I always appreciate arguing with you. I don't want to make the show the whole time with that. But yeah, I definitely see your perspective. I think the plus money play makes it worth it here, though.
Yeah, well, one of us is going to be happy, one of us is not, because I'm going to be on the Rockies pretty heavy in terms of DFS. So maybe he goes 16 outs, gives up 9 runs. Hopefully that's ideal. That would be the absolute ideal.
I'm cool with it, baby. Let's do it. Let's crush those first 2 times around the order. So we have a little bit of margin of error, right? We can give up those 2 runs a little bit later in the game and keep up being shitty the third time, but we make it through. That's what we're asking for right here. You can have as many runs as you want as long as we make it 6-4 right here, baby.
Yeah, hopefully. No, you only need 5.
I know, but we're going 6 full. That's why you can play a little.
Yeah, I'm hoping that he gives up like 3 grannies. That's what I'm hoping happens. We need those DFS numbers because no one's gonna play them. Everybody's gonna play fucking Cincinnati as always. playing the road team in terms of in their first round there in Coors. But like I said, they've been weird. Like we have not seen them do well. But all right, my not long shot, but plus money spot of the day is going to be Kevin Gausman over 17.5 outs. Ryan Nelson, no win. First off, why is Ryan Nelson minus 280 for no win? Like, I get they're minus 135 on the money line, right? They're minus 135. Okay, whatever. If they throw that Spencer Howard, he's actually not been bad. He wasn't even bad in Philly. Like, he's not a bad pitcher, first off. Then I need them to be winning after this number here, and his pitching out to 16.5. Give me the fucking under on that. This dude's sucked. He's not good, and especially on the road. I know you even brought it up, and you don't even have a bet on Ryan Nelson yet, and you even brought it up like it's pretty well known. This dude fucking sucks at home. Like, it is pretty wild. Like, you don't see that as bad as it is all the time. His home road splits are pretty nuts. 14% K rate at home, and mind you, he sucked at home. He still has a 3.77 FIP, over a 5 xFIP. So he sucked and still has a lot more room to suck more in terms of expected stuff. So I think he gets lit up. First off, I don't really. I only trust the back end of this bullpen with Ginkel and Seawald. I trust those two, but you got to fill those middle 2 innings yet, right? And you're just going to keep trying to roll Mantiply out there all the time. That dude is not good. Kevin Gausman, 17.5 outs, tougher spot, obviously, against Baltimore. But we've seen the leash, dude. This guy will go 110 and be out there consistently. Love that we're going to see a ton of lefties because we could get a lot of early outs for Gausman with that splitter just dying away from lefties, getting those rollovers and consistently getting those heavy ground balls. I was surprised at how high his ground ball rate was this year in terms of like how long he's been going and just being a high 30% K rate guy, but he's been significantly better at getting the ball on the ground. 44% ground ball rate to lefties, 43 to righties, and a lot of soft contact on the ground too, which is big to get those early outs, especially with the big guys, Ryan O'Hearn. You got Mountcastle at the top. You got Adley and Gunnar, and Gunner's just been on a heater again. So you got the revenge factor. Also, this dude has just been getting better and better each start. Dude's got a 3.2 xFIP, guys. And everybody was talking about him at the start of the year. Oh, this guy sucks. He got blown up a couple times. You can't think like that in terms of fantasy. Like that, you can't. And the fact that they're going to give me this number with a guy with a sub 3.3 xFIP and FIP, I get his hard hit rate's higher than it has been usually, but damn, dude, that is a good number. BABIP at 350, left on base percentage at 66%. Like, this dude has nowhere to go but up. And he still has a 3.2 xFIP. So I think Gausman, he definitely screwed me up the first couple weeks, and my fantasy team really, really sucked. I was in second to last place because I had Gausman, I had no relievers, and I had Judge, Tucker, and Seager all sucking. Well, your boy's running on like a freaking 24-6 run in the last 3 weeks because these boys are hot now. Let's go. I think Gausman cooks these boys tonight again. But I can't play him in DFS because he's probably going to be 70% owned at 8K, which sucks.
Yeah, no, it's a good lesson, too, on not overreacting to shit off the bat, obviously, especially with a guy that's been so good in the past. You know, some of the tweets people are firing off were crazy. You'd think it's a guy that came out of nowhere, you know, but definitely love it. And then to me, this Nelson no win reminds me of the one you played last week on the show that ended up, 400 closing, something like that. So I told you, like, right before the show started, I had to text my buddy to get this number in as soon as possible because I didn't even want to wait till the end of the show because I'm with you. I think it's pretty good pricing across the board. I did not expect this combo to be plus 120, so definitely joining you on this one.
Yeah, dude, minus 285, dude. That's just crazy. It's just absolutely nuts. Minus 160 on the over outs. You guys know I won't play a number at like that price, right? That's too high for just a straight bet. So I just thought this would be like minus 400. I don't see this guy getting that deep in this game. And obviously Camilo Duvall got rocked last night, so maybe that's back in people's minds just because he got absolutely smoked. But the Yankees are on one, man. Shout out Aaron Judge, number 1 fantasy player right now in the MLB. Shout out him, 10 category league, carrying my squad. I have made 6 best balls, 3 of them in the cash. 2 of them with Aaron Judge just absolutely cooking. I was in like second to last place, and I just keep moving up that meter towards the top. We love to see it. So shout out to Aaron Judge, Soto. How do people get rid of this man? 2 teams got rid of him willingly. This boy is fucking good, dude. Dude, his WRC plus gonna sit 200 like for the rest of the year. Like this dude is nuts. Doesn't strike out, hits tanks, drives in runs, does well in situational spots as well. Like, man, having him and Judge back to back is just fucking cheat code, man.
Agreed. Yeah. I mean, once again, shout out Soto. Come back to DC, please. We want you. We'll give you all the money in the world. Jeff Bezos needs to buy the team. I don't know. We need something, but he's killing it. And like you said, that Yankees team, kind of similar thing. People were talking a lot of shit on them very, very early before that offense was in their swing, and obviously taking care of business right now. So definitely love it.
One last thing on Soto before we get out of here. 184 WRC plus lefty on lefty, 193 against righties. Crazy. I saw Judge's was like 300 for something. It was like during his little run right now, his WRC plus was like 300, bro. It was like, how do you, and then you have to face shit Rizzo, so it doesn't matter. Rizzo's fucking trash. So luckily you get a nice little break there in the middle. Yeah, 209 WRC plus versus lefties this year. 195 righty on righty. And you go back to back with that. That is, man, that is fucking worth the money, man. That is worth the money. Worth the price of admission for all those people paying $300 to sit on the fucking nosebleeds and
yeah, especially too. Hey, once we get to postseason, imagine being the closer that has to come in and deal with that 1-2 punch right there. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm excited to watch it. And I don't have anything against Yankees fans. I know a lot of people hate them, but like they've been struggling for a little bit here. So I'm rooting for the guys, and I'll always root for Soto as a Nationals fan. He got us that World Series. So like I said, he can come back, but I'll root for them in the Yankees while the Nationals still suck.
Yeah. Before we recap here, I went to the game where the Yankees played my Brewers. Aaron Judge hit a ball that didn't get higher than 20 feet off the ground and was 116 miles an hour, just smoked off of that Tobias Myers dude. Oh my God. That might have been the hardest hit baseball I've seen in live, like in person. And the dude, I'm telling you right now, that ball literally looked like a golf ball off his bat. It went that fast, that far. It was nuts. Unbelievable. So, all right, Stu, let's recap before we start talking more Yankees shit, which I don't like.
Sounds good. You're going J.D. Martinez over 1.5 total bases plus 130. Then we went over Andrew Abbott over 15.5 pitching outs plus 105. Not potential outs, even though it does sound kind of good. It's not too crazy, but pitching outs.
This is my biggest play of the day right now, and that's to be Scooball over 7 Ks over 6.5 at minus 122. Yeah, take the ladder. I don't think I'd go higher than 10, though. Gausman over 17.5 outs. Ryan Nelson, no win, plus 120. All my long shots are kind of shit now because do you have one? I don't have one because I want to do a daily K leader, so I'm kind of screwed right now because they don't have everything up.
Yeah, no, I don't have one. I'll probably hit a little Francisco Lindor home run tonight, something like that. But I don't know. That's about it. I think there might be a couple like power spots. I think what I'll probably build like a round robin and post it in the comments because for me, I don't love the straight home run betting. I'm a big fan of the round robin format. So that I'll probably cook something up and drop it in the comments a little bit later for the people that are tuning in, the loyal fans we got.
Yeah, no, and you guys always know. Drop the questions and stuff in there. We're here till the start of the slate for sure. So. Make sure you drop those in there. I'll be looking at the slate the whole rest of the day, getting this stuff ready to go before I head into work. So it'll be good. Stu, anything else before we head out here, dude?
No, make sure you leave a like on the video before you head out of here. Helps us. I'll have more plays throughout the week, so make sure you're following over on Twitter. Turn those notifications on, join the Discord, do whatever you got to do. Free plays every single day, ready to keep that momentum going today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I know we ran a little long, but it's for a good cause. 3+ money spots here for you guys. Again, looking to add on to our 13 units so far made this year, and hopefully we'll get a couple more in the bag tonight. So thank you guys. Best of luck today, and we'll see you on Wednesday bright and early.